Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to be going through some of the basics of momentum of care, and it's all based on some questions I've been asked before in the past by patients, and I still get asked sometimes today about why we make plans for our patients and why we have regular appointments in the beginning. So especially in the beginning part, the more intensive stage, especially when someone has had a problem maybe for a very long time or they're in the very acute stage, we would have appointments usually around 2 times a week and more closely booked together. And the reason for this is we want to make sure that we maintain this momentum of care. Now what I mean by momentum of care, momentum of healing, is that when you start to do something, whether it's good or bad, it will then start to pick up pace and start to increase. So as an example, say you imagine there's a rock and it's starting to roll down the hill, the classic example, and the further down the hill it rolls, the faster it gets, the longer it goes, the faster it gets, and in this case, the more destructive it gets. And this is also the same if we have bad habits. Say if you're eating badly, if you're not exercising, if you're maybe smoking very heavily. All of these things are a bad habit that the more you do, the more damage and problems it will create. However, this is also the same for good habits, and this is also the same for healing in general. Your body has the same idea of momentum as well. When you get in, say, good patterns, whether it's sleeping well or eating better, it's then easier for you to maintain that and carry that on, and then you get more of the health benefits. And this is also the same with chiropractic. So as we start to see these changes and improvements, both on our nerve scans, our objective tests, and in what's happening with symptoms, then of course we need to maintain that momentum and keep things going. Because just because things are starting to feel better doesn't mean that things are 100% healed as they need to be. And we need to get to that point where it's not just about fighting symptoms, but really seeing these other objective changes for our patients, such as what we see on thermography, and for some patients even seeing other changes like changes in their blood pressure, changes in what's happening with the muscle testing, and improvements in their posture as well. For this, we need to have that momentum going, and as it picks up steam and it gets better and better and better, we keep going into that. And then as things are improving and we get to a much more stable level, that's when we start to space things further out because we've already maintained that good plateau. And it's much easier at that stage to maintain that kind of pace. Much like we talked about the idea of the rock rolling down the hill, once it's already rolling, it's much easier for it to maintain that speed and that velocity that it's got. And it's the same thing with the health and healing. Once it is at that maintained level, it's then much easier to space things out, and we can start to then maintain that level, and that's it becomes more about checkups rather than about trying to always fix or heal a particular problem. If you have any questions about this, momentum, or anything else, you can put them into the comments. You can drop us an email at help@vitalitychiropracticcenters.com, or you can call or text us at 8438 9550, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.